guy being mourned over is me. Let me tell you how I got to this situation whereby people ended up mourning over me because I was dead indeed. It's PES 2020 time, part number 2. So this is the second episode of our series called PES 2020 Wishlist, and if some of you had not watched the part 1, which I will link down below and put the annotation to it, this is basically a series whereby we discuss things that Konami have to add, improve, remove. But let's just take off the word remove, because history should never repeat itself. You should never let Konami remove anything from the game. Alright, so in today's episode, the main point of interest is Master League. It seems as if this has become the long forgotten part of Pro Evolution Soccer. Yet this was the main reason why a lot of people got to play the whole game to begin with. Master League used to be a football simulator, football simulator / football live mode, whereby you'd understand how it feels to be a manager. It went from being like a real life manager simulation, which had so many elements into it, which I'll talk in detail as we go through the video. From being a perfect football simulator that obviously needed to be touched on, of course, as time moved on, to being an exhibition mode whereby PES are just like, Konami are just like, yeah, hey guys, how you doing guys? This year we've got such and such a gameplay. Just play my Master League if you want to get to exhibit the gameplay, It has just become a gameplay exhibition mode whereby the only thing that matters in that mode is a gameplay. The first thing that I want to point out is how they got to remove the club structure into the game. In today's My Club, it's just a generic table with a generic icon of someone calling himself the boss, or the club head, or the club president. There's no face, there's no identity to that thing. It's just an icon, a blank icon, those Facebook default profile picture icons. A generic icon was just telling you, I'm the club boss, I'm the club secretary, I'm the club doctor, I'm the club whatsoever scout. Before, in Pro Evolution Soccer, we used to have cutscenes whereby you'd have real board meetings. I just don't understand why Konami, in a football management simulation, you'd remove board meetings. There's no involvement of the board meeting in this game. There's no involvement of the structure anymore. We need you, Konami, to bring back more involvement with the boards, more involvement with the club secretaries. How do you do this? You put cutscenes whereby you show myself as a manager, or the avatar that I would have created, right? Having a meeting with the boards, getting told the board directives, what they expect from me this season, what they want. And as the season progresses as well, they have to tell me, we're not happy with you. It just does not have to be a textbooks, for God's sake, Konami. Do away with text boxes and give us more animations, more textual representation, but that's more visual. Text boxes are a thing of the 90s, god damn it, Konami. Please, Konami, listen to the fans when we say Master League is what made Pro Evolution Soccer what it is today. You should not forget the son of a gun in Master League. Master League is Pro Evolution Soccer. I understand you want microtransactions, you want my club to be the sole focus of PES, but that's not gonna work, Konami. You're shooting yourself in the foot. I understand. So many people play the game offline, not because they don't have the Wi-Fi, even if some might play offline because they don't have the Wi-Fi, and you should not forget about those people, because it's actually a greater, it's actually a good number of people will actually play because they don't have the Wi-Fi or the internet connection and they want to enjoy offline. So Konami, that's what I want you to understand. My club, it's how detailed this Master League was, which made it outstanding. In past 2013, for example, for instance, there was so much animation that happened. Like, for example, as you were in the at the home menu or the home tab, you'd see your players training, your players socializing. It's those things that make the mode so captivating. It makes it hook you onto it. It makes you feel like you're quite addicted to playing the game. That visual thing, that whole aspect whereby the game just feels good if you get what I mean. Even still, the fact that in this day and era Master League, they aren't real sponsors. In these Master Leagues, you could get sponsored by Mercedes-Benz or by BMW, and they would actually tell you, BMW want you to meet such and such requirements they have, and then they'll give you an extra bonus. How it's done in the real world, and I just don't understand why Konami threw that away. Now you don't even have sponsors. All you get is money. You don't even know where it's coming from. You get money from winning the competitions, of course, but every single club has got sponsors. Every single club has got broadcasting rights and stuff. Now they just give you a text tab which just say which rights. You have money from broadcasting rights and sponsors. Who are the sponsors? The same thing with the trainers. In the other previous installments of the Master League, you could buy certain trainers. You'd know the trainers. You'd know who they are. You'd select the trainers you want to train your team. The team you want to work with. You'd select assistant coaches. You'd select player coaches like a real manager would do. I don't think a manager would go to a club and not know who even trains his players. Of course, you'll be in charge of all these things. Even the club doctors, you could buy a much better doctor than the other. And this doctor would easily minimize the rate at which your players get injured. Stuff like this which made the Master League great than it is today. Is okay, but improve Master League. So, going back to the point, do away with text boxes, Konami, please. And we need more interaction with the club structure, with the club board, with the secretaries and stuff. And also cutscenes. I saw in past 2018, you brought back the cutscenes whereby the coach gives, or the manager gives his team a great team talk before the match. Do more of those, Konami. For now, you only have such things whereby it's a serious game, or it's a derby, or it's maybe a Champions League final. But do more of those things. We need more of those things. For example, if the team is not playing well, make more cutscenes of the coach saying, guys, you're not playing well. What's wrong with you guys? Let's up the team spirit through these cutscenes and bring in more real-time responses whereby I, as a coach, right, I might say, for example, I'm a coach of Manchester United. I might say, Rashford, Pogba and Martial, I don't like the way you're playing. Step up your game. It should be maybe a fiery point, or maybe a disheartening point, or a good point, just like FIFA does. You right next to you there's a competitor in FIFA, and I know FIFA's has a lot of flaws, but in terms of the real-time responses, I have to applaud them for that, because in this modern day and era, we need more engagement. I need to feel like I am the manager and I have the game as to go, using certain decisions that I make, based on my own liking and choosing. So that's another thing. The other thing is, I recall in past 2009, we had scenes whereby we would see fans, getting affected with a certain outcome of the club or the team. I remember when you go on a winning spree, you'd see some different pictures, screenshots in the game of fans celebrating, with passion, representing that this is a real life club, just like any club. I'm sure even the Manchester United or Real Madrid or something, they've got archives of fans being delighted with the way the team is playing. If fans are not happy, in past 9 you'd put out screenshots in the news like the fans are so exhausted, and it will be a picture of fans in a bar, scratching their heads, angry at the outcome, the match outcome. Please, Konami, bring back those things. The other thing that I wanted to talk about in this video pertaining to my Master League is the transfer system. For God's sake, the transfer system is still unpolished, Konami. The transfer fees are still unrealistic. Make the transfer fees realistic. And yeah, I gotta applaud you. In past 2019, you increased the settings, the options of making a transfer possible by introducing the player-based transfer negotiations and the club-based transfer negotiation, which is something you have to keep in the game, but you should also obviously keep on updating it with time. And the other thing that I also want to talk about is, so I also have to applaud you for the cutscenes you brought in, whereby if I sign a player, you see a cutscene of the player getting, interviewed and stuff, which is great. But Konami, you have to make a complete overhaul of the menus. Alright, the interface is just horrible, the My Club interface. It's some classic interface, some classic 1980s interface. Do away with such an interface. Put a much more interactive interface, whereby I feel there's more, animations to the interface. There's more engagement to the interface. It's more appealing. It makes me want to visit My Club each and every day, not just those flat curved edge tabs you've been putting you put out this year. This garbage, Konami. That's honestly so disappointing for you in 2019 to be using such an interface. Do away with such an interface, Konami. The other thing that I also wanted to put back in the game is in terms of My Club, player rejuvenation. Player regeneration, I understand. Maybe you don't want to, to create a 2000 gigabytes game, 2 terabyte game, whereby for example, if Cristiano Ronaldo and Messi get to retire, maybe it's quite difficult for you to just off the fly create other players, So first of all, maybe you should assign, if a certain player retires, right, assign the player's capabilities in another different player, right, and make the player play like, for example, if Cristiano Ronaldo retires today, regenerate Cristiano Ronaldo in another player that looks different from Cristiano Ronaldo. That's all we're asking for, Konami. The player regeneration thing is so outdated. How it does not make sense whereby Cristiano retires and he comes back next season, the same face, same look, same hairstyle, same physique, and then you say he's 16 years old. God's sake, that's so unrealistic. And if in case you can't keep on bringing in new players into the game, then bring back the same players, let's say be it Messi, Cristiano, Rashford, whatsoever, if they get to retire, but bring back the aging system. We've seen Fox Engine is possible giving us the aging system. If any of you guys played Metal Gear Solid, you'd understand there's something called the aging system that the Fox Engine mastered. Make Cristiano Ronaldo look like a 20-year-old who's just starting his career. Don't make us use the same 34-year-old Cristiano Ronaldo and make it seem as if he's just 20 years old. It does not make sense, Konami. We've got Andre Pirlo or Gigi Buffon. He looks 38 or 40, god damn it. How could I use Buffon for all the players at 17 with the same facial hair, with the same grey facial hair? It's just bollocks, Konami. Pay attention to what we're talking about. Also, Konami, bring back, I said cutscenes. The player rejuvenation thing, it has to be changed. You have to find another form. You should also bring in an identity-based Master League. If I'm playing in the Premier League, let the tabs resemble an English-esque, English feel, vibe, English layout to them. If I'm playing in the Spanish league, let the tabs have that Spanish atmosphere to them, and let the presentation of the club feel Spanish as well. I'm not saying you should change the language, no, but you should how it is. If I'm English, of course, I would want, be it I go to Spain, Netherlands, or whatsoever, I would want the game to have English instead of Dutch. But if I go to the Netherlands, let the layouts, the tabs, the font represent that Dutch-like, atmosphere, showing me that I'm at a Dutch club. So that's all I had to say in this in this video, and hopefully Konami are definitely gonna listen to us. Hopefully Konami are gonna watch this video. Please guys, smash like, raise awareness to this video and attention so that it might get to Konami's headquarters. And please Konami, if you indeed see this video, please Konami, listen to what the people want. It's the people who determine where the game is going. If you don't satisfy our needs, Konami, your company is just going to crumble, because your company is based on what the fans want. That's the whole gaming industry. Without the fans, you're literally nothing. So that's it for the video. Don't forget to subscribe to Wardy Gaming, and see you in the next video. Take care.